Hi everyone, I hope this video finds you well. I imagine that some of you may be stuck knowing how to get started on your tribute page, and even if you're not stuck, you probably want a clear, simple example that you can follow. So I put together this tutorial that demonstrates how to set up a local development project, and hopefully you'll be able to start writing your code today. Just follow along with the video and pause if you need some time to complete a step. And by the end of it, you should have everything you need to get yourself up and running. As you can see, I have the image assets that I'm going to be using in the project laid out on my desktop, and I also have a text file that contains the text I'll be using on my web page. So that means we're ready to get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is create a new folder, and this will be the working directory for the project. I want to name this folder something memorable and meaningful, and in this case I'm going to name it EG_boilerplate because this project will contain boilerplate code that you can use for any number of other projects. I'm going to open up the folder, and as you can see now that it's empty, and the first thing I need to do is start creating some files to populate my folder with. So to create new files, I'm going to open up my text editor. I'm using Atom, and it creates a new blank file. And before I add anything to this file, I'm going to save it and name it. So I'm going to hit Propeller S, and I would like this document to appear in the boilerplate folder I just created. So I'm going to click on that folder, and I'm going to name this file index.html as the root HTML file of the project. Then I will click Save. You can see now I have a project folder in Atom, and it's a little bit wide, so I'll close it down. And inside my project folder is my index file. And this mirrors the view I have in my Finder window. Beyond an index file, I also need another file, so I will open up a new file, Command N, and like the other one, I'm going to save it and name it, Command S, and I want this one to appear at the same level as the index file in the boilerplate folder. I'm going to call this one style.css. Good. My sidebar has updated, and so has my Finder window. Now I'm ready to create a new folder, a second new folder, and I'm going to call this one pics, and it's going to contain all of the image assets for my project. So I'll drag those images and drop them into the pics folder. Whoops. Drop those into the pics folder. And then I'm going to move that pics folder right into the boilerplate.html folder. So now my pics folder appears at the same level as my two text files, and inside the pics folder are all the images that I'll be using. You can see in my text editor, my project folder has now updated, and I have a mystery file here. It's a hidden file. It's called dsstore. That's for Macs only, and you can just ignore that file. Navigating back to my index file, I'm ready to start writing some code. So I'm going to expand my window and get ready to start typing. So the first thing I'm going to type is the doctype declaration. It used to be a lot longer and more complicated, but these days in HTML5, this is all you need to type. Beyond this, I'm going to sketch out the skeleton of the page. So I'll begin with my HTML tags, and I will close that tag immediately. And inside that tag, at the first level of indentation, I'm going to create my head tag, I'm going to close my head tag, and I'm going to create my body tag, and I'm going to close my body tag. Inside my head tag, I need to call or reference the CSS file that I've created, and I do this using the link tag. And the link asks to specify a relationship, and in this case, the rel or relationship is style sheet. And the link tag also requires that I specify a file location of the file that I'm calling. So this uses the href attribute, and in this case, href equals style.css. Because the style file is located at the same level as this index file in my directory, I don't need to create a full file path like so. I can just use the relative value. And the link tag closes with the close angle bracket. Now, just for the sake of correctness, I'm also going to add a meta tag, and this is going to specify the char set or character set of the file. And Atom gives you a bunch of different options. I'm going to choose UTF-8, and I'm going to close my meta tag. So that's it for the head for the moment. Inside the body, this is where my content goes. Now, I've just created an HTML comment. A comment is an invisible bit of writing that never shows up in the browser but shows up when you read the code. And I did this by using open angle bracket exclamation point dash dash, and at the end of what I wanted to write, dash dash close angle bracket. And these comments can be used to annotate or make notes about the code, or they can be used to disable sections of code. So for instance, before the head tag, I could open up a comment, and after the head tag, I could close the comment. And now that code is grayed out and it is disabled, and only the body is active. And in order to comment it back in, I need to remove the characters that triggered that effect. All right, most of what shows up on a web page appears between the body tags. So just to test to make sure things are working, I'm going to create a simple title inside an h1 tag and open up a p tag or a paragraph tag to copy in the text I've used for the project. So now I can save my file